From his humble beginnings to shoving an innocent cameraman, this is how Dillon Brooks became the NBA's most hated player. Brooks has been making a name for himself in the NBA for the past few years, and it's not a good name. This guy is slowly becoming the modern-day Joker. Dillon Brooks has racked up an insane $250,000 in fines and suspensions this season alone. The guy must have some serious moolah, because his response to it all was, "It's just paper." Spoken like a true villain. Heck, if you asked any other players about him, they would probably have some words of discontent. The Memphis Grizzlies' small forward has become one of the most polarizing players in the league. While some fans love him for his hustle and intensity, others hate him for his hard-nosed play and penchant for dirty plays. But what is the backstory of this villain? And when can we pinpoint his descent into his most hated title? Born on January 22, 1996, in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. He played college basketball for the Oregon Ducks for 3 years. And this is where his antics begin. But more on that later. He was originally drafted by the Houston Rockets, but was immediately traded to the Memphis Grizzlies in the second round of the 2017 NBA draft, and the guy had an impressive rookie season with the Memphis Grizzlies in the 2017-2018 NBA season. He played in all 82 games, starting with 74 of them, and averaged 11.0 points, 3.1 rebounds, and 1.6 assists per game. Brooks also shot 44.7% from the field and 35.6% from beyond the arc. He was named to the NBA All-Rookie Second Team at the end of the season for his contributions to the Grizzlies. Brooks is widely recognized as a two-way player, meaning he can be equally capable on offense and defense, including an average of 15.7 points per game and 1.2 steals per game in the 2020-2021 NBA season. In February 2020, Dillon signed a $35 million extension with the Grizzlies. While Brooks can be intense on the court, his value to the Memphis Grizzlies cannot be denied. But we still have to talk about those antics. Yes. Back in 2017, as a sophomore at the university, Brooks played against Duke. The game was already over, with Duke having 68 points and Oregon having 79 points. He proceeds to shoot a three with the intent to make it. The game is over, man. Chill out. He then started to cheer. Coach K speaks to him after the game, saying that he is too good of a player to be doing something like that. There's no need to show off. In another university game against Washington State, Brooks does the Matrix and kicks a player in the groin. Ouch. He didn't say sorry or help him. He just kept running. You would think after university he would leave some of the childish antics in the past. But spoiler alert, he doesn't. One of the most infamous moments of Brooks's career came in the 2022 NBA playoffs. In Game 2 of the playoffs against the Golden State Warriors, Brooks was called for a foul on Gary Payton. Brooks came flying in from behind and hit Payton in the head with his left forearm. Payton was going up high for a layup. The foul fractured Payton's elbow. Payton would not return to the court until the finals, and Brooks, well, he was ejected from the game. And he had to sit out Game 3. Steve Kerr and the rest of the Golden State Warriors were fuming. Brooks was heavily criticized for the foul, and many fans and players accused him of intentionally trying to hurt Payton. Now, this could be considered just a rough play on Brooks' part, but this next one was way out of line. Brooks was chasing after the ball in the second quarter against the Miami Heat, pretty innocent. Things must have gotten pretty heated, because as he is retrieving the ball, Brooks crashes into the cameraman crouched next to the courtside table. Not only that, he clearly shoves the poor cameraman. Brooks was fined $35,000 for the incident. The NBA said that Brooks's actions constituted unsportsmanlike conduct. After a win against the Golden State Warriors, he was asked about the incident. He replied, "I didn't mean to hurt him in any way possible. I'm not that type of person. Whatever the NBA did is what they did, but I'm not that type of person. I play the game hard. If it were truly an accident, why didn't Brooks help the poor guy up or apologize right then and there? Very suspicious, Brooks." Brooks continued his villainy in February 2023. In a game against the Cavaliers, Brooks and Donovan Mitchell were almost about to throw down. Dillon was charging toward the basket when a player came to block his shot. It caused him to fall, but it doesn't end there. He magically found a way to hit Mitchell in the groin area. Mitchell immediately lost it and threw the ball at Brooks. The two began shoving each other as players and coaches try to separate them. But before anyone could stop them, they ended up wrestling each other on the ground. They both got ejected from the game. After the game, Mitchell spoke about Brooks having to resort to dirty tactics because he couldn't guard him. Donovan Mitchell speaks about his fight with Dillon Brooks. Yeah, for sure. That's just who he is. We've seen it a bunch in this league with him. He and I have had our personal battles for years.
Yeah, for sure. That's just who he is. You know, we've seen it a bunch in this league with him. Him and I have had our personal battles for years.
Quite frankly, I've been busting his ass for years. Playoffs and regular season, there's no place for that in the game, and you have to protect yourself at the end of the day. But this has been brewing for years. Brooks is on a mission. But what kind of story doesn't have a scene where the hero takes on the villain? LeBron James is arguably the greatest of all time. Our hero. From the moment the Lakers got matched up with the Grizzlies in the 2023 NBA playoffs, our showdown began. The Grizzlies won a game against the Lakers, and Brooks spared no time trash-talking. I don't care. He's old.
Okay, he's old. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that. I was expecting him to do that game 4, game 5. He wanted to say something when I got my 4th foul.
Talking about LeBron, LeBron later said, I was waiting for that. I was expecting him to do that in game 4 or game 5, but he wanted to say something when I got my 4th foul. He should have been saying that earlier on. But you know, I poke bears. I don't respect anyone until they come and give me 40, so I pride myself on what I do in defense and taking any challenge that's on the board. I don't need to tell you what LeBron did to the Grizzlies after that. We know the hero always wins. But Brooks' biggest rival? That would have to be Draymond Green. They have been at each other's throats since Brooks joined the league. This is weird because Brooks used to look up to him in university.
Telling him that, I want to be like Draymond Green for this team. I would never think that, I would be in this position now.
During a game where the Grizzlies beat the Golden State Warriors, Brooks and Green got into an altercation on the court. That game ended with Brooks getting his face shoved in by Green. Later on, Brooks said in an ESPN interview, I don't like Draymond at all. I just don't like Golden State. I don't want anything to do with them. Draymond talks a lot, gets away with a lot too. Green clapped back with, I quite frankly wouldn't like a team that beats me all the time either. If you ever wondered why the Memphis Grizzlies are not ready to compete for a championship, look no further than this idiot right here. They're actually depending on this guy to win a championship. Wow, Brooks can't seem to get on anyone's good side. Brooks has become the NBA's most hated player due to his cheap tricks and trash talk. However, it is important to remember that Brooks is still a valuable player for the Memphis Grizzlies. And he has shown that he can step up in big moments. Will Brooks ever release his negative reputation and become a more well-liked player in the future? I guess we'll find out. Until then, from shoving an innocent cameraman to his humble beginnings. This was how Dillon Brooks became the NBA's most hated player.